Hey y'all, it's Mia, and today I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite little creations. This little quilted mini crossbody is super cute, it's compact, and it's perfect for every day. This is the material you're going to need. I did use some of the quilted fabric from a Bible bag that I made a long time ago, but I loved it so much that I never used it, so I wanted to cut some of the pieces off of it and use it for this little crossbody. But if you have some fabric, all you really need to do is get some quilt batting and just put 2 layers of fabric on top and just make you a couple of little pieces of quilted fabric if you want to, or they sell pre-quilted fabric as well. So these are the measurements that you're going to need to cut out the main front and back, the lining, and the little pocket on the front. The zipper, I cut out 4 little zipper tab pieces for the sides. And then I was going to add an additional little tab to hook a wristlet onto, but I realized I can just hook the wristlet onto one of the little D-rings if I decide not to use it as a crossbody. So then I cut out a strip of fabric about 1.5 inches wide and just long enough to cover the flap. And I'm going to sew it with about 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around the flap. So I'm just going to pin it in place first. And then sew it with about 1/4 inch all the way around. If you look at one of my older videos, you can see that Bible bag that I made. It was so cute. The fabric with the words on it has scripture on it, but I just never used it. I have so many Bible bags, and I wanted to use the Hello Kitty zipper pull. And so a lot of times with old bags that I have, sometimes I'll take them apart, deconstruct them, and just make something else with them. So I knew I would use this little cute little phone wristlet crossbody bag almost every day. So I'm excited that I did make something new with it. So for the trimming, after I sewed it all the way around, I just folded it over. And then now we're just gonna sew with the right side of the flap facing upward on the sewing machine. And then after that, I'm gonna work on trimming the little pocket on the front of the bag. So I cut off another strip of fabric. If you have bias tape, you can use that. But a lot of times I just cut strips of fabric because it's just prettier to go along with the fabric that's already on the bag or the lining. It just coordinates really well and makes everything look really nice. So I'm just going to pin that trim along all 3 sides of the pocket, the sides and the bottom. Use 1/4 inch seam allowance and sew all the way around it. And then use the fold over method to just go ahead and fold the trim right over the back side. I did clip off a little bit from the corners just to make it easy to fold over, and then clipped everything in place. I finally had time to stop yesterday and get my nails done. So I did cut them down because they were starting to grow a little long. And I got a cute little design that I can't wait to show you. But yeah, don't judge me. I definitely needed to get my nails done. So now I'm just folding over the trim that's going along the top portion of the pocket. So I did trim some of the fabric and sew it around all 4 corners. But for me, it was just easier to do the 2 sides and the bottom and then do the top separately. So after cutting off the pieces from the bag that I used, I had, you know, some irregular sized pieces and different things, so I just tried to use most of it for the main pocket on the outside, the front piece, and then I had some for the back piece. So the back layer is just lined with fusible fleece. So I just have some fusible fleece ironed onto the back side of the back layer, but the front of the bag main panel was a piece of the quilted bag that I had already made. So now I'm just positioning the front pocket on and the flap, and I'm going to sew all the way around it and sew right along the bottom of the flap, because I'm going to fold it over and then sew on top of it. So now I'm just going all the way around of the bottom pocket piece. And then I just folded the flap over. I kind of tucked the pocket out of the way and pinned it because I didn't want to make a mistake and sew it closed. And now I'm just going to sew right really close to the top of the flap, about 1/8 of an inch. And that way it just stays folded down. And then I grab my hand press, and now I'm just going to add the snap onto the flap and the pocket piece. So I just made a mark, used my stiletto, made a hole, and then I just pushed the male end and the female ends of the snap onto the pocket pieces. I have tons of videos on how to do that. So if you're not familiar with adding hardware or snaps onto your bags, check out some of those other videos. And if you haven't joined the Sophie Circle yet, you should check it out. It's my new community where we're going to make all sorts of things. And I'm going to add 2 more pieces to this bag just to make a complete set inside of the Sophie Circle. So you want to check that out. But now I'm just adding the zipper. So I took those 2 little zipper tabs, placed them right sides facing right over the edges of the zipper, and sandwiched the zipper between the middle. And then I used about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance to just go ahead and sew the ends, attaching all the layers together. And if you would love to sell some of your creations and you don't know where to start or just how to go about setting up your Etsy shop, I do have the Handmade CEO Academy now that I'm really excited about because I've been working on it for a long time. But I want you guys to check it out. I'm going to release the first 2 modules so you can give it a test run, see what you think, and start working towards listing your first product so that way we can get some sales going. And so after sewing the zipper on, now I just sandwiched the zipper right in between the bottom layer, and then I placed the top layer on top of it and then sewed across it. And so now I just folded the lining layer backward and I'm just pinning it in place. I have lots of videos on zipper pouches as well, so if you want to learn how to actually make that technique, you can check out one of those videos. I'll link them in the description below. So now I'm just top stitching right along the bottom of the zipper just to secure the front panel. So then I just took the zipper, sandwiched it again, placed it right over the lining piece, and then placed the back panel right over the zipper, clipped it in place, and now we're just going to use our zipper foot and sew those layers together as well. You have to move your zipper out of the way, your zipper pull, when sewing. And then I folded the layers back again and then top stitched again. All right, so now we got the front and back panels and the lining attached to the zipper. So I'm going to take the front and back main panels, clipped them together, and then I took the lining pieces and then also clipped them together. But first I have to fold the zipper right along the edges on the sides just to make sure everything is nice and in place neatly. I haven't cut off the excess from the zipper tabs just yet, but I am going to trim everything nice and evenly once it's all sewn all the way around. So now I'm just adding my little bag tag on to the side of the bag and clipping it in place. I did make the 2 little tabs that's going to go inside the D-rings to hold your straps. So I'm just placing those inside the D-ring, clipping them in place, and now we're just going to place them right inside close to the zipper. And then with the raw edges meeting up with the raw edges of the actual bag. I did take the clips off and just kind of make sure I had them in the right place where I wanted them to be. So you just want to look and make sure it's even from the zipper, just the same measurement away from the zipper, and just make sure you have the tabs sticking out on the side so that way you can have enough to sew across. I had to put my bag tag back on again. And I'm just going to clip around the main panel the entire way and leave an opening in the lining so that way we can turn it inside out. You also want to make sure that your zipper is open inside the bag, and that way it'll make it easy for you to turn it, because once you sew it, it'll be hard to open the zipper. So now I'm just going to sew all along starting where I made the mark and finishing up around the other side where the other mark is. And just so you guys know, for anyone who is a part of the Sophie Circle, you will be able to have access to the Handmade CEO Academy for free. So I'm just excited about it. So if any of you do sign up for it and give it a test run and tell me what you think about it, because I would love to get your feedback, because I'm excited to help you guys start selling if you haven't created an Etsy shop yet, or just, like I said, don't know where to start. But I love selling on Etsy. But now we're going to turn it inside out. And the last step in bag making is to close up the hole in the lining. So I'm just going to push everything, all the corners out. I'm going to press right there where the opening is and then just sew across the opening. Push everything on the inside, and now you can just add your phone, your cards, or whatever you want to put into it. Add a strap. So I did show this little bag since I added the 2D rings. You can wear it as a crossbody, or you can wear it as a shoulder bag. And then I created a wristlet right after I made it, and you can wear it as a wristlet as well. I have 2 phones, so I did take the cases off to try to fit them both in there, but as you can see, they do both fit. But I probably would not take my cases off. I would just leave one of my phones in there with the case on. But I love the outcome. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.